Hello folks, welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. After a very tough week, and we all know that's life, unfortunately. But we are not going to talk about anything else than about the market. So we will continue, as mentioned. We will pause. I'm pausing the billing. So because I didn't have the time, and also I was focused with other topics and just didn't pause the billing last week, even at that time when I didn't provide any analysis. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm not going to charge anything for this week. I'm going to provide the analysis, and from Thursday on I will activate the charge on Substack again, just to make it clear. We have some topics today to talk before we start with the market in general. Where should I start? Because it's a lot of stuff. Well, first of all, we have midterm elections. If I'm right, it's November 8th. So it's going to be tomorrow, Tuesday. I need to check, but I think I'm right. I have checked that. I'm right. So, why should midterm elections change anything or have an impact to the market? Well, first of all, I just think because it depends who is going to win. It will even change a lot, because Republicans and Democrats have absolutely different approach how to fix the current situation, even the global one. You remember, just for example, just to make some examples, Donald Trump compared to Joe Biden, it's like day and night. So, and I think markets have some expectations, and in my opinion, but I'm not sure about that, but in my opinion, markets would maybe don't celebrate if the Republicans win the midterm elections. Why? I can't tell you that. I really don't know, and I'm not sure if the whole market, but the financial sector maybe. But I really can't tell you at the moment. I can't tell you why it could be that bearish for the market in case of, because in my understanding, or at least what I would expect if the Republicans take over again, is, well, we know that the Fed is an independent institution. So even if Joe Biden just met Jeremy Powell a few months ago, nobody knows exactly what they talked about. But that's really rare, such kind of meetings, because the central banks usually should be very independent of what politicians wish. However, so I don't think that could change anything, at least related to the monetary policy. But the monetary policy, of course, has to adapt to what is happening and why it's happening. So inflation is going up, but why is inflation going up? Is that a national issue, or is that a global one? And we know, and I mentioned that many times in the past, it's a global one. So you can try to fight the fire with gas, and you can try that. Everyone knows you will not be very successful with that. So that's why I said many times that Fed is not going to stop a rising inflation. The only thing they can do is to try to maintain the impact to the national economy as low as possible, with the risk to make a change in consumer behavior. In my opinion, the only key to bring inflation down, but with a risk to shrink your economy more, because you need to consume. That's the whole engine of the economy. If retailers, or at least if citizens are going to stop to consume, it will bring the economy down. That's a big issue. So we will see. I mean, if the Republicans take over and if they would follow the path of Donald Trump, for example, where he had I would say a less aggressive foreign policy as the Democrats. At least that's my view compared, between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not American. I'm not living there, so I just can I make my research, I read, and so on and so forth. But so however, if that's the case, that could of course change the situation also related to the Fed, because if they start, for example, to go back to negotiations also with China, and even maybe to push Ukraine and Russia together to negotiate. I mean, at the moment it doesn't look like, and it looks almost impossible, but nothing in this life is impossible. We know how politicians work. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a politician in the US, in Germany, or in Asia. They have the same DNA. They can fight each other, they can insult each other, but when the party is done, you see how they are laughing together and even giving them each other a hug, for example. So everything is possible. Absolutely everything is possible. So to flip back and to give hope to the markets could be extremely bullish, but the transition could be extremely bearish. Hard to understand? Yes, I can imagine that. But that's how politicians work. So, and Republicans will have an own interest to bring the economy, or the entrepreneurs, the big guys, on their line. So they will make something for these companies and to reduce the impact. At least that's what I would expect. That's the part of macroeconomy, monetary policy, and why the midterm elections can play a bigger role this week for equities, but also for the crypto market. We are noticing a bigger activity related to inflows, related to Bitcoin and altcoins as well. And it doesn't matter what metrics providers we are checking. Everyone is seeing the same. Now people say, well, but Bitcoin looks strong. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, that looks like a little bit like last year. The difference is we have a different geopolitical situation, a different macroeconomy situation, a different monetary policy situation, and at the same time, crypto is losing capital. We are detecting every day almost 200 millions in USDT outflows from Binance, and that's only Binance. And we are not really seeing a big inflow coming in. So, in my opinion, everything looks like a sell-off preparation. But not only on Bitcoin, it seems and it looks like it's going to have an impact to everything. Now, Kobe, let me check the tweet, because here's the tweet. I will show you that now. Have mentioned something. Now you can see that. Can someone please tell CZ that Alameda is all in short Ethereum with a liquidation price of $2,800? Well, it looks very obvious. When you see such a tweet, the first thing you should do is to short Ethereum, right? And usually I would say, it's too obvious. It looks like a trap. But I have checked that, and I can show you that as well. That it makes sense, because the big problem, or the big advantage what centralized exchanges have, is information advantage, like a market maker. Well, sometimes I think they are the market maker, or at least the market manipulators, when it comes to liquidate late shorts, or to liquidate shorts before we nuke hard, for example, just to avoid to give them the opportunity just to take profit. But FTX receiving 7,400 Ethereum, FTX receiving 15,400 Ethereum, FTX receiving 6,600 Ethereum, FTX receiving another 10,000, and that's just a quick view, because the list is longer. And that's happening in few hours. So if you take a look to that, and I would be the exchange, and maybe I'm bleeding, because this bear market it's a big pain for centralized exchanges, as we know. I can show you once again what is happening here. It's obvious what's happening here. The trend is obviously not in favor of centralized exchanges, because they are losing customers, because they are losing, as you see, activity, and activity is the cash cow, fees, liquidations, and so on and so forth. And that's not happening. So also here it's obvious that, for example, FTX after Binance very aggressive, that was a very aggressive promo when they announced fee-free trades on spot. And I think that's a big problem for FTX. I'm seeing right now, and that's also very interesting, we are talking about that, and now a mate, that's Olivieri, is announcing here that it seems that Binance is organizing or planning something that could bring FTX down, or at least in a very tough situation. So in such case, it would make sense if you know that people, or maybe that's even FTX itself, they are going to sell big Ethereum and to short it at the same time with low leverage to minimize the risk. It doesn't mean they are hedging. It wouldn't make any sense to hedge while you are noticing more inflows also related to Bitcoins are coming in. The most interesting part here is we are noticing a lot of Ethereum flowing in only to FTX. So we need to see what's going to happen next, but it looks very confirmed what's happening. I have mentioned it. Everything looks like, and right now QNT also starting to react, because I was noticing in the last few days bigger inflows on QNT to centralized exchanges, and that's always what's happening. If you want to bring down a market, you need to bring down the whole market, not only Bitcoin. Bitcoin, Ethereum, QNT, Atom, and so on and so forth. So, and that's what we are detecting at the moment, and that's why I'm expecting a sell-off. Now people are saying, yeah, but 20k looks very sure. Yes, of course. I was expecting 24k as the maximum low for this year, and we did 17.6. And if they want to bring the market down, I'm not talking about 10,000, 12,000, 13,000. I'm still a fan of a retest of 17.6, and for that we need a bigger volume because the price is that low. Of course, they can buy more with less money. So the volume would rise, and at the same time, obviously, you need more volume to dump the price. It's simple math, and in my opinion, that's going to happen. In my opinion, we will see volatility, and at the end, we will see a price maybe going down to 17 or 18. That's at least my hope, and then maybe go up in case we make such kind of spring based on Wyckoff. We will go up afterwards very aggressive and liquidate all the shorts we have generated. We need to see if that's going to happen. That would be at least a scenario I have in mind at the moment. I'm shorting. I'm not going to close my short, to be honest. I'm shorting right now with 50%. I did yesterday 40%, or since Saturday. Since 2 days with my short, and I will maintain that. Just to make it clear, I don't think 20k is going to hold right now. As I have tweeted, even put gamma walls are shifting to the downside at the moment. 20,250, that's a big one. My expectation, that should be the next station, and then tomorrow I guess we will see a bloody day. But we will see. I don't have a crystal ball. The only thing is metrics are showing us they are preparing a sell-off, and we need to see how strong bulls really are. I have my doubts, to be honest, but we will see. However, let us start. That was the initial comment from Inspocrypto, trying to give you a little bit complete overview what's happening on macroeconomics, monetary policy, and also some topics that are circulating right now on Twitter. And now we will check our data. So if you are wondering right now, hey, this chart looks a little bit different to the chart that Inspo was showing just a few weeks ago, or just 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you are right. I don't know what CryptoQuant did once again. I don't know why they love to play with the weights ratio, but I mean, it didn't change that much, but enough to say what the hell is happening here. However, we remember what happened to Bitcoin. We went up, afterwards we reduced, whales once again just pushing and sending Bitcoins to centralized exchanges, and now the big thing is happening. If you see, since mid of October, the whales ratio just see and now one direction. It's up. It's only up. Up. So, yeah, that, I mean, we are here indicating it. It's indicating yesterday or since November 4th, just going up. They used the weekend to send Bitcoins to centralized exchanges. And we are talking about big stuff, really big stuff. So it doesn't look great, and confirms a little bit what I tweeted today. I mean, everything looks very connected to each other. Big inflows coming in, weights ratio going up, and so on and so forth. Let us go further and see what's happening here. We can see that the weights ratio 1 hour time frame is declining at the moment. So at 66, indicating we can, or they are just reducing the sell pressure, and it can give the price the opportunity to go up. People are asking me 22k before the big crash. To be honest, they liquidated a lot of big amount of shorts. In my opinion, they are ready. In my opinion, maybe they will surprise us and going up to 21k once again. But at the moment, and we will check that just in a few minutes, but it's indicating just because of the huge put gamma wall we have at 20,250, that's not going to happen. We will go down, but maintaining the right level, the level we have right now, it gives bulls enough hope to go long. We will see if that's going to happen. However, is here something changing? No. The stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges are just like a drunk man, just going up, down, up, down. So walking, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. I don't know how to say that in English, but I hope you know what I mean. However, it looks very, very volatile at the moment, but doesn't indicate anything. It maintains a level, while the supply of stablecoins are reducing. I mean, they lifted up a little bit, but they are in trend, just reducing more and more and more and more. So just indicating they are sucking, they are absorbing capital from the market, and that's not bullish at all. However, we didn't touch the 90% yet. Here we were very close, and that was the initiation to start to distribute, and that's what they did. At the moment it looks like a dead cat bounce, and usually we should go even more down, but related to the metrics, I don't see anything more here. So as usual, we will take a look right now to what's happening to the inflow activity. We received a lot of stablecoins, but stablecoins doesn't mean automatically they are going to buy Bitcoin. I mean, you use stablecoins to buy any kind of assets related to crypto. So if we see, for example, here, and that was close before we went up, they bought a lot of Bitcoins, they started to distribute, and when this distribution was done, they sent Bitcoins, much more Bitcoins to centralized exchanges, and usually that means that's a preparation. And that's what I mentioned since yesterday. It seems that the net flow is on the side of inflows. So we are seeing here, for example, 5,000 Bitcoins inflow, 5,100 Bitcoins. Just few hours later, for example here, an outflow of 5,000 Bitcoins. So usually we would say, oh, that's neutral, it's zero. So the net flow should be zero. The problem here is that the Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges are increasing. How is that possible? Because the net flow maintains positive. What does that mean? More inflows coming than outflows happening. So they maintain that, they let the Bitcoins there, and they are accumulating, and that explains why, even if we are detecting bigger outflows at the same time, but it seems the net flow is on the side of inflows, indicating accumulation on centralized exchanges just to nuke it. You remember what I tweeted just a few days ago on Binance? From cold wallet, outflow 80,000 Bitcoins, 30,000 went directly to Bitcoin Binance hot wallet, while 50,000 to a cold wallet, to a new cold wallet by Binance. And in my opinion, that's enough indication that maybe, I don't know if this wallet is, is owned by Binance directly, or the Bitcoins at least, those 80,000, or someone big, for example, an OTC or whatever, a big whale, is preparing and part of this orchestrated dump that is going to happening. In my opinion, it's going to be very aggressive. So I'm not expecting just a smooth dump, but a nuke. So very aggressive and maybe creating such kind of spring. So we need to be also very, very careful if we are going to short, use stop loss in any case, because even if we go down very fast, it's possible that we will bounce also very fast. So that's something I can't tell you, and we need to be extremely careful. However, Bitcoin's coming in, 1,500 here, another 1,000, and so on and so forth. So the inflows are rising, of course, at the same time the outflows as well. But as mentioned, the reserves on centralized exchanges are going up. So usually also an indication that, we are preparing something big. That's it. Let us go forward. So at the same time, what we can see here, for example, is also very interesting. I mean, the funding rate, just the trend, obviously positive, lifting up. And even right now, it's even lifting up more. We had a little break where the funding rate declined, just indicating the demand of shorts increased, but now the demand for longs increasing. While, and that's also very interesting, it looks like it was once again a very quick profit operation where they sent Bitcoins as collateral, maybe I guess, for shorts, and right now taking profit. And here maybe also they flip to longs and taking profit, because right now bigger volume related to Bitcoins and derivative exchanges showing here. So 5,000, it's almost, no, it's more, 8,000 Bitcoins here, for example. Oh yeah, 8,000 Bitcoins. So that's big. And it remembers me a little bit to the June nuke we had, because it started relatively slow, and like now, like what we see here, and then afterwards the whole thing escalated. Bigger inflows came in, and also stable coins and so on and so forth. So we need to see and pay attention to what's going to happen here to the market. Related to stablecoins and as you can see, Bit and derivative exchanges, I mean, we are talking about 230 millions in stablecoin inflows, but at the same time 266 millions. But it's not big at all, absolutely not. What we can see is that even if they are demanding more longs, the open interest declined very much, like the leverage ratio also as well. So they liquidated a lot of high leverage positions, and that's what's indicating here. If we go forward, that's the daily view what we are seeing, and that's why I said I wouldn't expect a bigger short squeeze anymore, because they really liquidated a lot of shorts. So for example here, that was October 25th. They liquidated longs in a volume of almost 2,000 Bitcoins, but shorts with a volume of 16,000 Bitcoins. That was October 25th. Now let us check the next day, October 26th. They liquidated 3,000 Bitcoins and longs, but again 16,000 Bitcoins and shorts. So we are talking about 32,000 Bitcoins and shorts in 2 days. So indicating that they did their job. They really just cleaned up all the shorts they had there that were high leverage shorts. And now I think we are done and we can go down. Also here another 5,000 Bitcoins in shorts liquidation, while only 1,000 Bitcoins in long liquidations. So at the moment, also here, for example, once again, that was October and November 4th. 300 Bitcoins and longs liquidation, almost 2,000 Bitcoins and shorts liquidations. So that's the problem. While we are lifting up, people feel comfortable, they start to short, and they liquidated them. They went one leg up more. I have warned you they will do it, and they will do the opposite way as well. Now people are saying 20k looks great, 20,000, our current level. We will not go down even more. I would be careful with that. Don't feel comfortable at any level. I just tell you, mark my words, don't do it. However, also here we can see, for example, open interest, the trend is up, even it declined a lot right now. The leverage ratio maintains. We are not that far away from our all-time high, but we declined afterwards, it seems, with all these shorts, and that would explain why it correlates the leverage ratio, how it dumped with, for example, all these shorts liquidations here, and the funding rate here we can see it's up. So it's yeah, I would say it correlates very, very nice with the open interest, indicating since August, mid of August, the funding rate is lifting up, indicating they are demanding more longs. And yesterday, I guess, I don't remember if it was yesterday or today, where we tweeted a tweet where someone just showed on CryptoQuant that the funding rate is extremely positive on CryptoQuant, indicating we have a lot of longs still there pending because people are expecting to go up. In case we make a very hard move to the downside, it will be painful and dynamic. Even I think it's going to be, they need a bigger volume on Bitcoin and assets to dump the market, because as lower the price, less money you need to buy more. Obviously, that's also simple math. So if we see 50,000 Bitcoins coming in, it sounds a lot, but they need that much if they want, for example, to go down to 17.6 or even 16, for example. So just to make it clear. Well, and that's Binance. On Binance, as you see, both declining, only funding rate maintains high, indicating they are demanding longs. We know that, for example, FTX is all in, at least Alameda, it seems, is all in shorting Ethereum, while a lot of Ethereum is coming in on FTX. Another thing that let me expect we will go down hard first. And I have retweeted also something about a potentially bank run on FTX. I mean, some people will say, that's too much, that's too exaggerated. But, you know, I mean, the problem of FTX, of people like Sam, I mean, we know all this. Everything is like a loop and repeats. The dot-com bubble was the same generation of people. You know, it was the innovative youngsters, those who thought, I am God and I can do everything. But no, it's not. And it's the whole environment right now, not only the crypto market environment with no regulation, but also the monetary policy macro situation and the geopolitical one is looking very dirty, very ugly. And it seems many are not taking into account all that, while just since last year they spent a lot of money in ads, advertisement, billions in different projects. We remember Coinbase with its NFT project and so on and so on. They failed many times in different ways, and usually that never ends in a very good way. At the same time, it looks like that Binance initiated a war against FTX, a war that, in my opinion, started last year, initiated by FTX against Binance. We remember when FTX, but also the media, were starting to bring a lot of pressure to Binance. And I also remember that FTX bought a lot of Bitcoins in July, while the Binance reserves on Bitcoin declined a lot. In my opinion, the whole FUD we received last year against Binance, and many of you remember, hopefully, otherwise I will retweet some old tweets about that, was initiated by Sam, by FTX, and some others, with an interest to weak Binance in favor of their own projects and exchanges. But of course, I don't have any proof for that. That's just a theory, okay? However, that's it related to futures. I don't want to make it longer than necessary. So we see here shorts are declining, longs are coming back. Only on Binance, once again, on Ethereum looks a little bit more healthier than on Bitcoin. And now let us check the Kingfisher. What's happening here? Let us take Binance and see if we can see here something. Okay, so let us check if the structure looks similar on FTX. So what we see here, we have potentially the most attractive part here would be on the long side more than on the short side. If we take a look here, we see 70 millions. So the volume, liquidation volume on Binance declined as well. But we have a cluster here above of 30K. At the same time, we have a bigger long liquidation cluster at the price levels I would expect between 17 and 18K. That would be also in favor of my theory. We will see a retest of 17.6. Now let us check FTX. And if that matches as well. Yes. Even here the volume on FTX increased a lot. You remember just a few weeks ago, 1,800. Now it's 35 millions. So it's absolutely a different thing. But also here, shorts really low and longs very high. So also here we have between 18,000 and 17,000 a cluster that should be much more attractive to liquidate them if they want to do it. That's it now related to futures. I think I need to speed up a little bit, otherwise it's going to be a very long one. So, what is happening here? I mean, FTX once again playing against the rest of the exchanges, because we can see that the aggregated spot is indicating distribution was part of FTX strategy, it seems, but FTX started to lift up and was at least, I guess, the main initiator of this dead cat bounce that played out very well. Now it's maintaining the level at 20,700, and we will see what's happening next. Also here, Bitcoin collateral futures lifting up, indicating they are longing, while, for example, stablecoin collateral futures not doing anything. Absolutely anything. Let us take a look what Binance is doing. Binance is still on distribution part with the bigger volume, as we can see here right now. But, you know, they are distributing, and that's at least what we can see here. So FTX on the buy side and Binance of the bear side. Bitfinex looks similar to FTX, at least a little bit. So right now it seems that they want to lift up on CBD, but absolutely peanuts. And Coinbase is right now Okay. Coinbase is following Binance strategy and declining. Also here, indicating distribution. That's something that's really interesting because Coinbase usually is very bullish, but at the same time, right now, not really. So let us check what's happening here. Retailers pushing up, indicating they are buying Bitcoins. This guy is here pushing up, indicating are buying Bitcoins. This guy is here pushed up after, I would say they distributed very well. So indicating they are buying Bitcoins, or at least, entities. It's not necessary we can say they are buying or selling. That's why I like the term, just to say they are rising, increasing balances. Because I don't know if they are getting from one wallet, for example, if it's OTC, if they really bought, or if they bought maybe 6 months ago and now they are just sending these Bitcoins to their wallets. So it's really difficult to say what's behind. This guy's here not doing anything, absolutely not doing anything. It's always, in my opinion, looks very like quick profit operations, what they like to do. The market maker entities, without any doubts, it looks really bearish, in my opinion. So these guys are the best in trade behavior, and at the moment looks like they are in a preparation of a sell-off, while, for example, entities related to centralized exchanges, so we only have almost 100 wallets linked to this entity, and we are talking about Binance called hot wallets, Bitfinex called hot wallets, Coinbase, FTX, Gemini. So all big centralized exchanges have mainly big wallets there called and hot wallets, and are illustrated here in this entity. So if we check, for example, since October 17th, they had 2,150,000 Bitcoins. Right now, 2 million, let me check, 2,150, and now they have 2,430,000. So we are talking about almost 300,000 more Bitcoins than before in just few weeks. I really hope they are not going to use them for a sell-off, because then it's going to be even bigger than in June. But, And market maker entities, you remember I said maybe 4,860,000 is the maximum, because that was extremely low. Then they pushed up, and I wasn't really convinced that this was looking like accumulation. Said we need to wait. So they pushed up to 4,920,000 Bitcoins, and now they have 4,780,000 Bitcoins. So if we compare, we are talking here about 140,000 Bitcoins less than October 8th. And that's really huge. Why the price didn't anything at the same time. So as you also see here, our market maker entities extremely active. Here 4,000, here another 4,000, here another 3,000, here again 3,000. So sending and using this price above of 20k to accumulate Bitcoins on centralized exchanges, it seems, and at the same time distributing. Also here we can see even it declined a little bit, but the whole right now the whole reserves, Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges increasing while we have bigger outflows. That's what I mentioned in the beginning of this analysis. Well, I have showed you this one. So centralized exchanges bleeding more and more and more. And what do we have here? I don't know. Wow, what is that? Miners. So, but miners are chilling, so nothing happening there. I'm not sure if they just capitulated already and we are done there. But we are done at least with this chapter, and we go now to the next one. So Coinbase, what is happening here on Coinbase? First of all, Coinbase, look what they did here. Reinforced but big on 14k. So is 14k potentially the next low? Everything is possible. I mean, I'm still a fan of my scenario of a retest of 17.6, but look that. I mean, that's big for Coinbase. At the same time, limiting the way up, and also here they opened the way down to the downside, and right now waiting here 20,800. So in case we will go much up, it seems they want to maintain right now the price between 20,500 and 20,800. So nothing big. Deribit, perpetual. Also here, nothing big. Here, bigger cluster, but also here to the downside, but that's it. So also nothing big here. Bitstamp, spot. Also nothing big here, to be honest. No. Then Binance. Binance USDT. Binance, as mentioned, distributing. Also limiting the way up at 21,800, for example. And right now also limiting the way up. That's what they are doing. So if you check that, they don't want to let the price go up above of 20,800, but at the same time they are waiting here 20k. So in my opinion, they will push more to the downside, hitting 20k. It matches very well to what we have seen related to the put gamma wall at 20,250. That should work as a magnet. We are talking about this level here. It's not that far away. Maintain there, and then we need to see what's going to happen next. But after tomorrow, I think we will see some action. Bitfinex spot. Wow. Bitfinex. Here rating below of 20,500. At least we can say this here is a wall at 20,000, and yeah, that's it. So at the moment they are maintaining here, and also at 18.6. That's what we can see, but you know, it's a lot of algo at the moment. 20,440. It looks like they want to let the price go down to 20,400, but that's it. FTX perp. At the moment pushing more to the downside, but nothing here. Also limiting the way up at 20,500. OKEX spot. Also here reducing, so also indicating distribution on Kraken. Yeah, distribution, at least more sells than buys, but nothing big. Waiting here at 19k, but that's it. So also nothing big. We can check Bitget. Bitget not doing anything. Bitmax also not doing anything. Not even any walls or something that give us a sign of limitations. Binance futures. Binance futures also here until 21,500. Waiting there. I don't see any big wall to the downside here, to be honest. So a lot, of course, close to the price. They want to maintain the current price, it seems, but that's it. That's really it. Looks like limitations to the upside. Bitfinex, no, just shorting, it seems. So this CBD here looking very negative. Kraken futures. Wow, Kraken futures, someone pushed up very hard. Both longs for 13 millions, while someone here is maintaining the price with 7 millions. OKEX futures, shorting, as you can see here. And FTX spot, lifting up on FTX spot. We don't see, we can see they reduced liquidity to the downside a lot. The most interesting chart here, in my opinion, is Coinbase. Coinbase looks really, really interesting what they are doing here at 14K. But it's the only one. It's going to be tough for me now to make a personal conclusion, but I will try. So that's it.